Welcome to a new episode of Plots We Have at Home, where we come up with the most unhinged story prompts this side of the Atlantic and make ChatGPT do the hard work and make sense of it.
Or not. We read the stories out loud for you, and it's always the first time for both of us hearing them, so you get our unfiltered reactions.
I'm John.
And I'm Danny.
And let's dive right into the first story.
I will read for you the first story of today. And the title is...
My face hurts already.
I understand your request. Please give me a moment to come up with a title for the conversation.
You're very welcome.
I think we can be pretty positive about the fact that ChatGPT is not ready. So yeah, here's our first story of the day.
I'm already crying.
Let's do a quick disclaimer first. This is episode 10, so we wanted to do something special. So, what we did was we wrote each other into the prompts. So, John wrote me into a story, and I wrote John into a story. So, I am very afraid.
I'm scaredly excited.
Here goes nothing. The mall was bustling with shoppers. The holiday spirit hanging heavy in the air as Christmas music played softly in the background. Jesus Christ. Danny Arndt, a 28-year-old photographer from Dortmund, Germany, was helping her last client of the day, Jack Shepard, known from the show Lost.
Here we go again.
Thank you. Pick the perfect holiday photo. Jack was a bundle of nerves, constantly checking his watch and muttering under his breath about the traffic. Come on, Jack, just one more shot and you'll be out of here, Danny reassured him with a warm smile. Little did they know, their lives were about to take a drastic turn. Suddenly, chaos erupted as armed men stormed the mall. Jesus fucking Christ, I know so much where this is going.
You're very welcome.
Knocking down every entrance and trapping shoppers and staff inside. Danny and Jack found themselves crouched behind a display of holiday decorations, their hearts pounding with fear. Jack stammered, "We're stuck, Danny. How did this happen? I can't fix this. I'm not a doctor or a leader. I'm just an actor." It was starting so well. Okay, cool. Well, I'm still there, Jack. No worries. Danny pulled out her phone and dialed 911. Wow, I'm so smart. Like, seriously, so smart. She whispered urgently into the phone. "Hello? This is Danny Arndt from the photo shop in the mall. There are armed men here and they've taken over the place. Send help." A gruff voice on the other end responded, "Well, darling." I knew this was gonna come. A gruff voice on the other end responded, "Well, darling, looks like you're in one heck of a pickle. Call me Sawyer. I'll help you navigate this mess." I also love that he doesn't use the name in season 6. But that's okay, we can work with it. When he's an actual cop there. Danny rolled her eyes, not amused by Sawyer's nicknames. That was what was not amusing to you? His own or him calling you darling?
I guess him calling you darling. I mean, I guess that's pretty on track. If somebody called you darling on the phone, you
yes,
probably would
very
be
much,
furious.
very much. This is very on character for me. Okay. All right, Sawyer, what should we do? Sawyer grinned on the other end of the line, is what I hear.
As you hear.
Well, Sunshine, you're gonna have to outsmart these folks. Find some hiding spots, use the environment to your advantage, and take them out one by one. But first, tell me what you're up against. Danny peeked through a stack of mannequins and saw the terrorists. Now they're terrorists. That's so good. They were just robbers in the beginning, but now they're terrorists.
No, but they were armed men, I guess.
Yeah, but okay. Yes.
You never know.
I just scanned the text and now I'm so... What? Sorry, this is a mess. Danny peeked through a stack of mannequins and saw the terrorists, recognizable as 1980s action movie stars like Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, and others. They were armed to the teeth and appeared to be led by none other than Taylor Swift. They're heavily armed and Taylor Swift is leading them, Sawyer, Danny whispered. I mean, that's some info to work with, I guess.
It's, yeah.
Taylor Swift paced around, talking to her crew. I'm the problem, she declared with a sinister grin. We're going to bring back the glory days of action movies no matter what it takes. We'll make them all as problematic as they were in the past. Danny listened carefully and noticed an opportunity. She whispered to Jack, "Stay low, Jack. I have an idea." She moved stealthily through the mall, utilizing her photographer's eye to spot reflecting surfaces and distract the terrorists with the flash on her camera. That's very smart, though. Yeah, as the terrorists turned their attention towards the sudden bursts of light, Danny grabbed a string of Christmas lights from a nearby display. With a flick of her wrist, she sent the lights cascading down like a dazzling curtain. The terrorists were momentarily blinded and disoriented. Danny used this chance to disarm one of the henchmen with a makeshift garrote fashioned from a scarf. Jesus fucking Christ.
There we go.
Sawyer's voice came through the phone again. "Impressive, Red. Now find Taylor Swift. She's your ticket out of there." Sure thing, Sawyer, if you say so.
Sure, Red.
I don't even know what this means. Danny stealthily made her way towards Taylor, who was gloating to her henchmen about their imminent success. Just as Taylor believed she had won, Danny emerged from the shadows, revealing a hidden weapon she had crafted from a camera tripod. With swift precision, Danny knocked Taylor's weapon from her hand and held her at bay. The terrorists were disarmed and surrounded. Taylor Swift stared at Danny in shock. "How did you..." Danny interrupted. "I may be a photographer from Dortmund, but I've traveled the world, Taylor. I've learned a thing or two about survival. Now, you're going to tell your crew to surrender peacefully."
There we go.
Taylor Swift reluctantly nodded and the terrorists were apprehended. The mall was safe once more, thanks to Danny's quick thinking and resourcefulness. As the authorities arrived to secure the area, Sawyer's voice crackled on the phone. "Well done, Sunshine. You've saved the day." Danny smiled. "Thanks, Sawyer, but next time just call me Danny." Sawyer chuckled. "All right, Danny, take care out of there. And keep that camera handy. You never know when you might need it again." Well, every day, because I need it for my work. Danny nodded, grateful for the unexpected heroics of a photographer from Dortmund who had faced off against a pop sensation turned action movie villain and emerged victorious, proving that sometimes even the most unlikely heroes can shine when the need arises.
Well.
I love it. It's great. I love it. Where do I even start? Okay, first of all, thank you for including lost characters. I was very much hoping you would do something like that for me, and it was actually very awesome. Sawyer's on point.
Yeah, right?
Sawyer's on point.
Kind of surprised and impressed by that.
It's probably because I write Sawyer so many times in ChatGPT, but whatever, yes, he's on point. There was this weird thing with Jack where he was like,
"I'm not a doctor, I'm an actor."
"I'm not a doctor or a leader, I'm an actor." And I was like, "No, you're not. You're actually a doctor." And it started so well because he started with, "I can't fix this," which is like such a Lost-related thing for him to say, and then...
Well, may or may not have told him specifically to say that.
I thought so, but still. Did you also tell Taylor Swift to say I'm the problem?
Yes, but I was hoping for it to be like more of like a reveal thing later, that we don't know her being in charge from the beginning necessarily.
Okay, well, that did not work out at all.
I mean, it also tracks for her to just like kick in the door and be like, "I'm the problem. What's up now?"
I also love that the terrorists were action movie stars like Sylvester Stallone and Bruce Willis, but it wasn't Sylvester Stallone, it wasn't Bruce Willis, it was just people like them.
They're stunt doubles, I don't know. I'm sad.
Jason Statham instead, I don't know.
He's too young.
Oh, true.
It's a little sad because I figured it would happen like that, but then I was like, am I really gonna do like a whole like 6-person list now or something? No, we'll just let it do its thing and see what it comes up with.
I really I just love the whole like Die Hard situation going on, and also ChatGPT was very creative with the weapons I crafted from the stuff that was there. That was great.
Like my biggest concern, that it didn't or that it wouldn't be able to put two and two together and make up something that's at least like thematically fitting. But it was very good, like with the surfaces that reflect your flashlights, and then you like bury them under the fucking Christmas lights and everything. And the tripod you made into a weapon.
I mean, you could just put it together and knock people down with it, because it's usually a very heavy thing to have. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I feel very represented, like very well represented by my character in this story, I gotta say, because that's just lottery actually at this point. I mean, I don't know how much detail you put in about my character.
I mean, I gave it like 3 sentences or something. Like I told it like you're a photographer from Dortmund.
Okay, I mean, yeah, but I mean like characteristics.
Not like plenty, I don't know.
Because I mean, obviously like my age, my name, my profession and all of that, yes. You obviously provided that, but...
Yeah. No, I think like I used like 1 sentence for like characterization pretty much.
I'm very curious to know that one. I'm gonna scroll and read it actually, because
Please do so.
Oh, that's cute. She's a tough woman with a heart of gold who loves to travel. I just love that I like put in this like, I've traveled the world in the end, just for like no fucking reason. But you put it in there, and ChatGPT figured that if you put it in there, it's gotta be used.
Yeah, I mean, it's writing 101, right? You gotta come back to the characterization to show how far the characters have come. But yes. No, I'm actually also...
It was great. No, it was a great story. It worked very well.
Pretty
It made
happy.
a lot of... I mean, except for that Jack Shepherd, I'm an actor thing. That was so weird. That threw me off so bad. But everything else was really great. It also only mentioned that Jack was from the show Lost, and it didn't mention that again for Sawyer, which was also nice. Also, canonically, if you haven't watched Lost, but Sawyer is actually a cop in season 6, so that is very great.
Didn't even think of that, actually. I was just like, yeah, he's gotta be the handler.
Oh, I thought you... because that was the whole thing!
No,
well, okay, then
I'm
it's
sorry.
even better, actually. And also my reaction to his weird, like, his darling sunshine nicknames, I was like, fuck off with that.
Yeah, I was hoping for the nicknames to be like a little bit more like, I don't know.
I mean, he
yeah.
didn't have anything to work off of. I mean, he could have done like some photography related nicknames,
Yeah, that
I
was
guess.
kind of what I was hoping for, but I mean, it still was very, very good.
No, this is great. I will give it a 10 out of 10 just because I like it very much. I also love that you included Taylor Swift as the villain.
I was really thinking like, okay, who should be like the villain in this scenario, because I came up with the whole like Die Hard thing first, obviously.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, it would be really funny if it's like, I don't know, like Sylvester Stallone and Bruce Willis and Arnold and who knows what, all these like action heroes that are like,
yeah,
just the pawns of whoever is doing their thing in the mall. And I was like, yeah, it's gotta be like some twistish kind of situation. So I was, yeah, it's gotta be Taylor.
I love it. It's
just because she loves the problematic action movies of the 80s so
she's
much.
gonna bring them back with her terrorist group in the mall.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a pretty good start to...
just to draw the attention and be like, well, this is a die-hard situation that we're gonna create here, and yeah. But then I heroically divert her plans and also very peacefully end the situation. Like nobody really gets hurt badly.
No, you just like disarm her, even though you.
I also don't like all the other like the terrorists. They're like, I mean, yeah, they get like knocked out a little, but
no, they just get like tangled in like light cords is what I imagined.
One of them got strangled with my makeshift scarf garrote.
Well,
but then again, also a scarf doesn't do the same harm
as a garrote.
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, thank you so
Beautiful
much. It was
stuff.
awesome.
You're very welcome. Okay, our second story of the day is titled The Cage Conundrum. It was just another day at the 99th precinct of the NYPD. Detectives Jake Peralta and Charles Boyle were at their desks, engaged in their usual banter. Jake was showing off his latest collection of action figures, while Charles was passionately discussing his new recipe for boys bolognese, whatever that entails. As they continued their lively exchange, a newcomer entered the precinct. Jonathan Arndt, better known as John, with his dark blonde hair flowing and tattoos peeking out from under his sleeves, certainly stood out amongst the conservative surroundings of the precinct. Jake's curiosity got the best of him. "Who's the new guys, Charles?" Charles turned around, his eyes widening as he took in John's appearance. Oh, that's John, our new recruit. He's fresh out the academy. Smart guy here." Really, it's very fun to read that about yourself. John approached their desks, extending a hand with a grin. "Hey, I'm John. Nice to meet you guys. Heard you two were the ones to work with?" Jake shook John's hand enthusiastically. "Jake Peralta, and this is my partner, Charles Boyle." "Partner? More like soulmate," Charles chimed in with his typical earnestness. That's the word. John chuckled, quickly adapting to the dynamic. "Soulmate, huh? I can already tell I'm in for a wild ride." Just as they were about to dive into their first case together, Captain Holt assigned them a murder case. A wealthy art collector had been found dead, and their task was to solve the mystery. The detectives set off, brainstorming ideas in the car. Jake scratched his head. "Okay, so we need to find out who would want to kill this art collector. Any idea, guys?" Charles furrowed his brow. "Maybe someone who didn't like his taste in art? Or someone who owned your money?" Jolene. John leaned in from the back seat, interjecting with a wry smile. Or maybe, just maybe, it was a secret art thief trying to steal his collection. You know, the kind of thief that isn't public, rather than secret. Jake nodded. "John, you're a genius."
Yes, fucking genius, John.
I can think of stuff that not even police detectives could think
That's
of.
just like me calling 911.
Right? The first lead took them to a local art gallery where they encountered none other than Adrian Pimento. The eccentric ex-detective agreed to help them with the case, but led them on a wild goose chase around New York, claiming that the murderer was an underground art thief with a penchant for daring heists. Hours turned into frenzied night as they followed Adrian's bizarre leads. At one point, they found themselves disguised as living statues in Central Park, waiting for a shadowy figure that... Fidget, yeah. Waiting for a shadowy fidget spinner. At one point, they found themselves disguised as living statues in Central Park, waiting for a shadowy figure that never showed up. Exhausted and frustrated, they returned to the precinct, convinced that they had hit a dead end. But John's sharp instincts kicked in as they observed Charles closely. "Hey Charles, something's not right," John said, narrowing his eyes. Charles blinked, feigning innocence. What do you mean?" John's hand shot out, grabbing at Charles' face. With a swift pull, he revealed that the person underneath was wearing a hyper-realistic Charles Boyle mask. Fucking love it. Jake gasped. "Charles, you've been Nicolas Cage all along?" The man behind the mask grinned, pulling it off to reveal the face of the real Nicolas Cage. "You caught me." Before they could react, Cage bolted, sprinting out of the precinct. The detectives gave chase, but the actor was surprisingly nimble and elusive, blending into the bustling streets of New York. As they watched Kate. As they watched Cage disappear into the distance, Jake sighed. "Well, that's a wrap on the Cage case. He's officially gone." Charles, his face now free from the mask, looked disheartened. "What? I can't. I can't believe I was caged all along.
Yow!
John couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Guess we'll have to cage him another day. It's so...
It's something you would say.
Yes. That's so. The case of the art collector's murder remained unsolved, leaving the detectives with an unforgettable encounter with Nicolas Cage, who had once again managed to slip through their grasp. I love how this is like a reoccurring thing now. As they returned to the precinct, John couldn't help but shake his head. He was beginning to realize that working at the 99th precinct was going to be even more bizarre and unpredictable than he ever imagined. Oh boy. Okay. Well, that's... I love how I like read the title and I somehow forgot about the whole cage thing until it showed up again in the end.
I'm very happy about that.
No, that was really fun. Yes. I mean, I'm not quite sure what happened. Like at the end, where like
that was where that was.
Boyle also was underneath the mask.
Okay, that was the whole thing. Also, I think it didn't become quite clear that they actually. Okay, so the idea was that they find the murderer. It's Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
They take him into custody, and then you realize something's up about Boyle. So Nicolas Cage is in fact Charles Boyle. No, it's a face-off situation.
Okay, yeah, I see you. Yeah, that
and that didn't work. Obviously,
great.
that was where ChatGPT got like super confused. Yes, this also has to happen every once in a while.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Because then obviously they solved the case, and then I told ChatGPT to choose if Cage gets away or not after being like.
I guess ChatGPT chose that
yes, but also
Nicolas Cage is not to be caged.
But also,
did you tell it to make puns?
No. It was actually all of that. ChatGPT just came up with all of that by itself. I mean, I said that you work together with Peralta and Boyle, you join in on their dynamic, and that dynamic is like it's on the show. That worked so well.
That worked very well.
And then they get help from Adrian Pimento, and also, they go on this wild. That was very on character. Also the statue thing in Central Park, whatever that was.
That could have been like the whole thing, and I would have been so happy. Like just like Adrian Pimento doing wild shit with them and being like, no, this is really important so that we can like catch the guy and everything. And then just
you have the match list.
Yes.
So
beautiful stuff. That could have been like even more of it, but would have possibly taken away from the very important plot that happened.
Yeah, it kind of it just didn't become clear that Nicolas Cage is the murderer they were looking for. It seems like Nicolas Cage is just someone they bump into every once in a while. It's like this weird game they have where they try to catch him, but they never know where and when he shows up, and then he just runs.
I don't know. I mean, I like connected the way that Nicolas Cage was the murderer. It was just even
but then
more
everyone was very chill about everything in
the
end. It's like, oh well, I guess you just ran off. Nothing we can do about that. Well,
this wealthy art collector is dead now. Nothing we can do about it. Let Nicolas run. He's got shit to do. He's got to film like 6 movies this year. Yeah.
So yeah.
No. I mean, I would give it like a 8 or 9 for sure.
Yeah.
Because
of the weird ending.
Yeah, that, or like even if it like dove a little bit deeper into the like police work part in heavy quotes where they pretend to be statues and all that, and we get like a little bit more of their casework, that would have also maybe taken it over the top for me. But yes, I mean, obviously great choices with Face Off and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's what's bound to like happen together, I feel like.
Yes. We really want to see that.
Yes. I maybe also want to see what you gave it to characterize me now, though.
I didn't put in so much.
Oh, and you're so cute though. But yes.
You're a genius, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, who did
Genius talking.
Genius, right here. Who said that again? Was it Boyle at least?
I mean, it was Peralta.
Oh, okay.
Because you suggested it could have been a secret thief.
Yes, it's not just like somebody who's like dealing with the guy. He maybe just wanted their art. What a novel thing to say. But yes.
I just really love this, like, partner more like soulmate. That was like the best Charles Boyle line in the whole
right?
thing.
Like it really got the dynamic like on point. And then just like, gotta find out who wanted to kill this art collector. Any idea, guys? Thought you're the smart guy, Jake.
But you're the genius.
That's fair.
You're like straight, like fresh out of the academy, and they're like, new guy, solve the case for us. Yeah, there's so many more people I wanted to include and everything, but I was afraid that it was already like going into detail about like how you appeared in the beginning. I was like, are you gonna start with a case? Because I know ChatGPT has just this limited space. And I was like, honey, we need more details about the case. I mean, it's nice that you give us the beginning was great, but I was just like, but will you have enough time for the for the case?
I mean,
case with a K.
Case. Yeah, I mean that was sort of also like my main concern, that I like kept getting more and more detailed with my prompt, so that it like actually hit the right story prompts, and it did the things that I wanted it to, but it also skipped over a few parts where I was like, yeah, this is like sort of important for the story, where it's just like, yeah, this happens and then we go. So yeah, I think that's just sort of
it's the limitations of
yeah.
ChatGPT. That's okay.
Yes,
that's when one day maybe we write the stories.
One day. Oh, okay, I was gonna say maybe one day we'll get the sequel where they run into Nicolas Cage again.
Also that.
Have their next encounter.
If anyone here is up for a sequel episode, we already have 2 stories that would very much require sequel. Secret
sequels.
Secret
just
sequels.
Like thieves.
Jesus. I think we'll end this now. That was it. Our 2 stories for today. Thank you so much for listening.
And if you didn't like us showing up in your stories this week, then come back next week and we'll see. Maybe we'll have more plots at home.